Hello, everybody. It's Leland. Welcome to the channel, or welcome back. Today we have something a little different. Today I'm going to be showing you how I clean and restore secondhand G1 Monster High dolls that I add to my collection. So, a little bit of a talk through and a tutorial about how I go about restoring these secondhand dolls for my collection. Hopefully, that will be helpful to you and I can share some of my experiences. So, if that sounds like fun, make sure to stick around. And if you like the video, give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel for more videos like this. Okay, let's go. Okay, so for today's video, we're restoring two secondhand Monster High Claudine dolls that I picked up at a toy expo. Really excited to get these, so we'll go through supplies and everything that I use to clean up these secondhand dolls. So you'll need a metal comb, a tangle teaser type brush, some WD-40, dishwashing liquid. I prefer the kind that has no color dye, some clarifying shampoo, and some conditioner. So those are the supplies that I use to clean up my dolls. And there are a lot of methods for de-gluing, de-greasing G1 Monster High dolls. And I've tried many of them. And for me, the WD-40 method was the winner. And I have used this method to degrease and deglue my entire G1 Monster High collection. So my original collection of like 65 dolls. Last year I went through and cleaned them using this method with WD-40, and some of them were extremely, extremely gluey and greasy and really bad shape. And I tried other methods, but they didn't work, so I used this one. So you just put the WD-40, rub it in, maybe comb, and then rinse that out and go through cycles of dish soap wash and then like many rounds of washing that WD-40 out with dish soap. And in my experience, it really gets that like gluey, greasy stuff out of the hair that is in a lot of these dolls. And you'll know it's starting to work when you can see that it's starting to lather here. So when you were first put in the WD-40 and the first round afterwards, it won't lather. And you can tell it still feels really greasy and like that glue is all in there and it's gross. Once it starts to lather, like you're breaking it up, you're starting to get it out. And I just go through as many rounds as I feel like that it takes to get that nastiness out of the hair. So oftentimes 3, 4, 5 rounds. These two particular dolls weren't too gluey, but they definitely had some like nastiness in their hair. And then I also like to use a little bit of clarifying shampoo as well, just for good measure. With the dish soap is also really harsh, but clarifying shampoo is also really harsh. So it helps get that gunk out of the hair, in my opinion. And I like the way it smells. This Suave stuff is really cheap. So I just like use that as like the harshest shampoo, and then dish soap, the harshest thing you can get to really get all that gunk out of the hair, just by wash, rinse, wash, rinse, wash, rinse. It just takes patience. You just got to keep going. When you think you're done washing, do it again. You think you need one more round? You probably do. And then once you're done with all those rounds, I go ahead and put in some of the conditioner. I like that particular conditioner because it has tea tree oil, which has a slight antibacterial properties. So, and then brush through the conditioner with the Tangle Teaser. That's a little bit of a gentler brush that won't break the hair as bad whenever you're trying to get the knots out of the nastiness of the hair. I feel like I don't really brush until I have the conditioner in to help smooth it through. And that has worked really well for me. So just waiting until the conditioner's in and then brush through that, and then brush through the metal comb to really get out any of the knots that still remain. And then you will shed some hair in the dolls. They will shed some hair, but it's okay. I wanted to show that just to be honest, because a lot of people are afraid of damaging dolls in this process, but don't be. A little bit of hair might come out. It's okay. You can hardly even tell that it happened. And it's just part of the process. You're not going to hurt the doll. So, and then give that conditioner a little bit of a rinse, and then the hair should be a lot softer at this point, and just a lot better than it was whenever it first came home. And you can really tell when it's done by feeling. You can feel that, oh, it doesn't feel as sticky, it doesn't feel as greasy. And then the last thing I do is like a faux boil wash, where I just run it under hot tap water. I don't actually do a boil wash. You can. I do the lazy boil wash just with the hot water. So it works well enough for me. And in my experience, that was like good enough to kind of just help smooth the hair a little bit, especially for the hair that's straight or just slightly wavy. Just doing a little bit of that and then squeezing the water out. And then that's the process for me. And so we repeat all those steps on the second Claudine, putting in the WD-40, rinsing it out, combing through, doing the rounds and rounds and rounds of washing with the dish soap, and going back and forth. Again, you see here it's not lathering. That means there's still gunk. So keep washing and then keep going around and around. I cut out a few of the rounds, and then going into the conditioner when you finally kind of get it all clean and they are able to brush through the hair finally. So get those knots and tangles out, and then going through with the metal comb. And yes, I'm a little rough with my dolls. I'm going to be honest. I've gotten over treating them really delicately because I've done this so many times at this point. My original collection of 65 I cleaned, I've gotten probably at least 20 this year. So 80 dolls I've gone through this process and cleaned, and not had any damage or any like bad results. Even though I'm sometimes a little rough with them, I just want to encourage people to not be afraid of doing what needs to be done, to get the dolls in better shape. And then I also wash all their clothes. So I like to use a scent-free, dye-free soap and just do it like you were hand washing people-sized clothes in the sink. Just a tiny little bit of soap. I do it with the plastic pieces as well. I put everything in there. If a secondhand doll comes into this house, every bit of it gets washed, because you never know where it's been or who's been touching it, what kid has done what to it, So for me, it's like I just want to wash it all. So that's what I do. And I do little doll laundry in the sink. Just swirl it around like you're the washing machine. Swirl, swirl, swirl. I used to do this with my doll clothes when I was a kid. It's very nostalgic. And then drain it out. Don't let anything go down the drain. Don't put anything that's too small. And then just hand rinse each piece is what I do with cold water, and then squeeze it out. And then you have nice, clean, fresh doll clothes. And I've not had any negative experience with doing this type of hand wash, like hurting the doll clothes in any way. I've done it with every piece of Monster High clothes that I have, and it's totally been fine. So these things are a little delicate, but they're not really that delicate. You can get in there and you can wash things and roughhouse them, and it'll be okay. It's worth it, I think, to have clean stuff. And like even this Claudine's dress, the Red Riding Hood dress, is a little delicate. It has some tulle and stuff. Hand washing it this way was totally fine. It didn't hurt it at all. Just, make sure you thoroughly rinse out the soap. You don't want any soap residue. And then, and squeeze it out. Squeeze out all the excess water after rinsing. And you have nice, clean, beautiful doll clothes. Definitely, I don't recommend like putting it in the washing machine or anything. Hand washing is the way to go. So this is the way that I do it, and just hand washing and rinsing. And the plastic pieces, you could do them separately in like dish soap or something if you wanted, if they're really dirty. But I just do them in the laundry soap and just throw it all in there at once, and it works for me, and it makes me feel better about the cleanliness of all these doll stands that I bring into the house that who knows where they've been or what they've done. And just rinse off the plastic. Again, it's easy with the plastic pieces. And then I just take and towel dry each of the plastic pieces to make sure they're nice and dry and get the water all off of them. And then also doing that with the clothing pieces. So just squeezing the excess water out of them. It just helps them dry a little faster. Squeeze the excess water. And then you can let them set and air dry. So yeah, that's what I'm doing here. Just finding dry parts of the towel, giving the dress a little squeeze. Again, you can be rough with these fall clothes. It's okay, everyone. You can be rough. It doesn't hurt them. And then just, that gets it almost like 80% of the way there to being dry. Really, it does, doing that. So you should be pretty much good to go. And then you just lay them out flat on a flat surface to dry. And then I squeeze out the hair, squeeze out any excess water that's in the hair as well. And then, you know, they dry pretty quickly, honestly, the doll hair. So just squeeze out excess water, give it a nice little brush through and let it set. Kind of spread them out. I set them on a table in my office, turn on the ceiling fan. In a couple of hours or so, you know, they just set on my table like this, and then they're good to go. They'll be dry. And then once they're dry, you can style and re-put the clothes back on, and just, I like to give the hair one more little brush through, and you can see here it's so shiny and clean and pretty. No more dust and dirt, because again, all these dolls have probably never been cleaned in their life, you know, and they're over 10 years on this planet. So shiny, so pretty. And then I styled her hair off camera because it's kind of pulled back in a half up style. But this is just how she looks after a nice little wash. And similarly with the other Claudine, her hair was a little bit damaged for some reason. Like, it came to me that way. Not sure why. At the ends here, it's like really rough and frizzy. But overall, it still looked really nice, because this doll, I think, originally has like curly hair, right? So at some point, someone maybe boil washed this hair and then like got some of the curl out. But isn't it pretty? I love this color on Claudine. It's so beautiful, isn't she? This is like a really beautiful Claudine, you know? Yeah, so that's her, and that's the two girls. So that's the two new additions to my collection. I think the Claudine is from a sister pack, and then the one on the left with purple hair, and the other is from the Scary Tales line. These are two that I've been wanting, and they're really beautiful, and they're all nice and clean and pretty and perfect for my collection now. And yeah, it turned out really easy. It's not that hard. I just wanted to encourage everyone that, like, I was really nervous about cleaning dolls at first, but you don't have to be. Like, it's really easy. You can do it, and it's totally worth it to just get your collection fresh, especially when you're buying secondhand. So that's it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Let me know in the comments if you use a different method or have any questions about the method I use. Thanks so much for watching. Bye!